Hey, what is up guys? GuitarRock here, welcome back to another Nikke Goddess of Victory video. Alright, if you guys are not aware, today we have the D banner went up live alongside with the new license to kill event right here. Alright, very cool event. I'm not going to spoil the story, but highly recommend you guys to read the story, at least for the first half. There was a build up that I actually enjoyed. Alright, so that's something that something to take note of regarding the event. As always, wait for the hard stages before you go here and purchase all of these materials to basically open up more stages, right? So you can farm more stages, but highly recommend to wait for hard stage. That's going to be next week. Events are usually 2-week format. First week we have access to normal, second week we have access to hard. Now let's talk about D. Is she worth pulling for? I've been testing her, trying to make her work. It seems a little bit tough actually to try to make her work, at least for me in my account. Now so far I've been testing her in a couple of stages, PvP of course, and also I want to try her against some bosses, right? So she has this particular skill that, if you guys are not aware, this particular one, right, it helps a lot. Charges burst gauge by 84%. This is at skill level 5. That means your burst gauge are going to be almost full immediately. Activates only one time per battle, and also you're immune to stun. Now we had train boss earlier today. That one, there's no stun, but this burst gauge definitely helps for sure. And also damage as strong element increased by 65%. Now one more thing is, if you activate her burst, notice she can do this thing which is very cool, where it affects all attacker allies. When attacking a certain part of an enemy, damage dealt to the part increased by 28.11% for 15 seconds. Keep in mind this only lasts for 15 seconds. Now what does it mean by a certain part of an enemy? So if you guys are not aware, the train, alright, the outer scene basically has a couple of, you know, missile launchers and turrets shooting at you. You want to destroy those ideally to basically survive, right? And she helps to do a lot of damage against those parts, and hopefully, you know, the strategy is you want to try to destroy all of them. Now, however, based on me testing earlier today, I couldn't do it. Alright, even with her help, I couldn't do it. That's maybe because I'm lacking a little bit in my other characters that I use. I have Scarlet, Modonia, I have Rupee helping me out. So this is just to show you my gears. This is what I have on Scarlet, right? So 5, 3, 3. I have one overload gear right here. This one is a max ammo capacity, crit damage, and hit rate. Alright. And my skill is 777. Of course, I have cube, resilience cube on her. My Modonia, I do not have any overload gears on her. I do have strong enough gears like level 5 for 3. But yeah, I don't really have that good of a gear for her. And who was the other one? Rupee. Yeah, I was also using Rupee as well. So Rupee was helping out everyone, and Rupee does have one overload gear, this particular one, max ammo capacity and attack percent. Now, even with these three, I was struggling. I was trying out for the entire day. If you guys didn't watch the stream, we tried about 2 hours during the stream, and then I tried for another 2 additional hours, almost 4 hours of just testing to see if it can work. I tried to swap multiple teams and see if, you know, we can do a few other strategy, try out Drake, put in, replace Rupee with Guilty. But yeah, all of it, it seems a little bit far-fetched. It seems really tough. Now, if you have a strong enough character roster, or your attacker, basically all she does is she buff attacker. If all your attackers have good gears, yes, D is going to fit that description. It's going to be a very good addition to your team to try to deal with at least train boss. Pretty much it's just train boss. You could be pulling her for Modonia as well. That's something that we'll test out later on. But for now, it feels like she's going to be one more very niche unit. It's going to help out the accounts that are already strong. You have multiple attackers with maybe lots of overload gears, etc. Okay, so you can see this is one of my test runs that I did earlier. So basically, you position D so that she activates everything first. You can see I almost destroyed the missile launcher. Now, keep in mind, whenever you activate her burst, it only lasts for 15 seconds. Now, I could almost destroy the turret and stuff, but so now both missile launchers are destroyed. So now we are left with a turret. So my strategy, or at least my method right here, I have to rely on these turrets not killing any of my unit. Sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes the turrets doesn't do anything, which I did get lucky right here in this run. So is this a successful run? Like, do I consider this a successful run? Not really, because D still dies, and this relies on the turret not killing your units. It's not really a consistent one. You have to restart. So I've restarted multiple times. A lot of time the turret end up killing my Scarlet, end up killing my Litter, end up killing my Rupee, and if that If they die, especially if Rupee die or Little die, you have to restart the entire run because the chain just breaks. Now, phase 2, this is where it's going to get a little bit tricky, right? I think this is going to be really tough, as you can see. Really struggling right here. I didn't have burst for that prepared, and there's only so much I can do, right? So the RNG still factors in. If you have a character that dies, probably it's still going to be a big issue unless you can kill all the missile launchers, all the turrets for the train. I think you gotta have strong DPS characters to begin with. So let's show you guys this particular thing so you guys have an idea, right? Look at the damage right here. So this is how much my characters are doing, right? So Modernia 12 million, with Scarlet doing 14 million. Alright, Rupee doing 6.3 million. But one thing that you notice is she does very little damage on her own. Now, even though she has this thing called the elemental damage increase on her skill kit that increase 63% if you have an elemental advantage or whatever, I doubt that's going to be much because, to be fair, she did die early on, alright, so that's fair. So let's say she does about double this amount, right? Because she didn't make it into phase 2. Still, that's nothing as impressive as how much Modernia or Scarlet could do. Alright, this is run number 2. As you can see, this time I have Guilty as opposed to Rupee. Now, like I mentioned, I was sitting here testing this for almost 4 hours trying to make this work, but it feels like my damage was really lacking. I think you ideally want to destroy this missile launcher before the train move all the way to the left, right? And then now you're focusing on turrets straight up. And you can see, now rely on RNG again so that your character doesn't die. But this time my character did die, D did die. I guess you have to keep restarting over and over and over again until none of your characters actually die. The turrets will not kill any of your character, and you get lucky with the turret not. You can't really take cover as far as I know. I've tried. If the turret shoots you, most of the time you're just gonna die, something like that. Alright, so this is also a pretty bad run here, I would say. But this one I think is much more bearable because I'll showcase you guys why. This one we have Modernia still, and I think Modernia is sort of more needed than Scarlet in most cases because you want her to activate her burst, where her burst lasts for a while and will be able to help you to get rid of the missiles, like these ones right here. So if Modernia activate her skill, you can get rid of those missiles, incoming, you know, rockets, bullets, whatever you want to call those, easily. So now we are entering the phase 2. And now phase 2 is going to worry me a little bit as well because this one, we are not going to have Modernia's skill. And yeah, at this point there's only so much that I can do. The reason why I'm showing this to you guys is Guilty's damage, which I think you guys might find very impressive. Because my Guilty, I believe she was able to do more than my Rupee. So the reason why Guilty and Rupee for burst 2 is because D buff attackers. So you want to use those characters. You want to use attacker for burst 2. But Little is still relevant. So you can see Guilty, she was able to do slightly more than Rupee at 7.4 million compared to Rupee's 6 point something million. So Guilty is a good option. If you guys have her selected as your liberation unit, consider Guilty for sure. Now, does this justify pulling for D though? Like what's my honest thoughts right after testing her for the entire day? Based on my experience, not really. Alright, I don't think she's worth it. That's just my humble opinion. If you're free to play, you're better off saving later on for a proper Pilgrim banner or something else. Plus, she'll be added to the standard pool anyway, so you can always add her to your wish list if you want to. She doesn't work in PvP as well, I've tested that. So her skill relies on target, right? Okay. Let me see if I can showcase. Enemy can stun me, look at this. See? I still get stunned. Even though I have or maybe that was the timer up already. So yeah, her skill kit is mostly going to be used in Union raids. Again, if that's where your focus is, you want to focus on Union raids specifically or in certain bosses specifically, yeah sure. She might be able to help you in certain bosses stage. But I think most players are still struggling with train boss, and you might already have a Sakura Lyudmila that can help you. You probably don't really need D as much. Alright, so with that being said, let me know what you guys think. If you guys think she's worth it, write in the comment section below, or if you guys think that she was able to make it much more of a smoother experience for your train attack run. I'm curious to hear what you guys think. As always, subscribe, give this video a like. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day. Goodbye.